Atlantic Sports here on the Atlantic Television Network. On this edition of the program, Team Nigeria extend lead on the medals table at the African Military Games. Coming in from the world of golf, winners emerge at the Lagos Open Golf Tournament. Bayern Munich then Paris Saint-Germain's record at the second round of the UEFA Champions League. Details of this and many more will be yours when we return from the break. Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network. Mike is here.
Yeah, good morning, and good morning to our viewers out there.
So let's get started, and we'll start in Taekwondo, where the Nigerian Armed Forces team has achieved remarkable success at the ongoing African Military Games at the National Stadium in Abuja. Mike, 11 medals on the table in Taekwondo alone. That's quite a big figure, if you ask me, from one event in sports.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Taekwondo team, they are doing pretty well. They're racking up all the medals almost available in that, Qatar. I think for me, it's an impressive display of skills and grit from, the Taekwondo team. What an impressive way to, continue their run. And courtesy of that medal haul that they were able to rack up in the Taekwondo event, it has also further increased our, medal standing on the log out there with about 121 medals. And
sports has racked in several medals from Nigeria. To say congratulations to Taekwondo, they really shown that
go in this competition.
Well, we'll say congratulations to the Nigerian team ongoing, taking part in the ongoing African Military Games. 3 days to go to the end of this competition, and Nigeria have gotten a gulf of lead out there at the African Military Games. 64 medals as compared to Tunisia, who is coming close with 24 medals.
Yeah.
And I think the top place side has just 9 medals. So it looks untouchable, except something drastic really happens. Nigeria have raked in this one as the winner, the first place winner of this competition ongoing at Abuja?
Yeah, it's looking likely. In terms of the total medal haul as it is right now, Nigeria has about 121 medals. That include 62 gold, then 34 silver, and 27 bronze in all. And the closest country that come close to us is either was it Algeria in 50-something medals haul. I think for me, there is a lot.
And River Queens event. This is a handball event where we expect action to resume today. We saw action before. I think Dynamos of Bendel, they're expected to be in action today against Delta Queens, while we see action between Seaside Babes as well against the Chief of Army Staff Shooters. Plateau Pickers will take on Imo Grasshoppers. That reminds me, Hoppers used to have, a fearsome reputation in the past when it comes to handball, but now I'm not too sure they are as strong as they used to be.
No, they are no longer stronger. Like days where they have some of, the notable names. About 4 good names were in their squad out there. Then they dominate. They take you to the cleaner when you come up against them. But that's why it looks as though they are not making any serious impact this time around. You talk about that will be very, very capable to represent the country when the needs arise. So I think for Atule, it's a very big position that you should use it for the development of the sport itself.
Veteran chairman should be in the race for the next chairman of the Nigerian Wrestling Federation. We understand Daniel Gali has done his time, and there will be an election any moment soon. Is this a way of putting himself to the rings? Talking about Tula.
Yes, of course. He needs to blow his trumpet, because if he doesn't blow it, nobody is going to blow the trumpet for him. He needs to at least hug the media, make the headline as well, so that at least his name goes viral, so that he get more votes during the electioneering campaign in this part of the climb. But I tell you, it's a very, very huge money-making venture. If you make it as a profession and you are provided with the necessary facility for you to sharpen your skills, I think we have talent. Only the big issue is, do they have the right platform for them to excel? It's a big question that the Golfers Association of Nigeria need to also look into.
Golfers Association of Nigeria really have to sit up and see into some of the developments that are beginning to emerge within the association. Time for us to take a break now. When we return from the break, we'll look at football. And talking about football reminds me that UEFA Champions League is at very critical groups fixtures right now. And we've seen some teams suffer. Arsenal are in rejoice mode this hour because they won by many goals away last night. Manchester City continues to display poor form. When we return from a break, we'll tell you details and many more. Welcome back. Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network. And just before we get to football, let's look at the latest happening from the NBA in the United States of America. It looks like LA Lakers were in a loss in the early hours of this morning. 127 to 100 points scored by LA Lakers against Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, for LA Lakers, I think it's quite disappointing seeing them lose to Phoenix Suns, but I think they are still very much in place. It's just that the season has not been very rosy for them. They're finding it very difficult to compete at the highest level against the likes of Cleveland Cavaliers, who is a surprise package for the season so far, having played that 15 games unbeaten before they were actually off stage 2 weeks ago by Boston Celtics. I think for LA Lakers, they need to get back their mojo, get back to winning ways, because I tell you, at this early stage, you don't, drop point as it is right now, because it will come to a critical point in time where, point margin would actually determine who goes through.
Talking about point margin, who determines who goes through, it was Miami Heat that suffered the point margin errors, because it was 103 against 106 scored by Milwaukee Bucks there. Milwaukee Bucks having an away win over Miami Heat.
Very impressive one, and of course their key player Gianni Antetokounmpo put up an impressive figure out there for the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think for me, if they continue in this fine form, I see them also making a very good finish. Though we still have many games to go, about 82 games, for the NBA, a few games played so far. They still have more time, and that is why I'm saying that it is early call to make. Some of the teams that are showing blip in form, maybe just when they going get tougher, they can also get back their mojo.
Chicago Bulls was one team last night that put up a very impressive win, 127 points against just 108 scored by the Washington Wizards. Wizards from Washington were completely annihilated.
Yeah, from Chicago Bulls, they have also been doing very good so far, though not a total dominance, but then you can also say that they are doing pretty well so far, this season. And they
yes, did do well, but Houston Rockets 107 to 111 scored by the Wolves from Minnesota.
Yeah, a great one for them. I think for the Eastern Conference, there seems to be in 8th or 9th position. I can't actually place my hand on their position on the standing, but I tell you, they are not doing pretty well, pretty bad at all. I listened to their coach 2 days ago talking about the fact that they need to also compete with the likes of LA Lakers, Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, even the surprise package of last season, talking about Dallas Mavericks. And it looks as though the man is serious on carrying out, that. He's not just talking on the media, but he truly wants to improve the team. Talking
about improving teams, San Antonio Spurs have really improved. They beat Utah Jazz by 128 points to 115. San Antonio Spurs, they looked very average last season, but this time around, they got biting from all cylinders.
Yeah, it looks so, but like I said earlier, it is not yet an uhuru for some of these teams that is doing pretty well at this early stage of the NBA. Can they keep the momentum going? You know, when push comes to shove, can they actually stand the heat? And it takes consistency before I can truly give it to them. As it is right now, a few games played, many more games to come. They need to maintain consistency before I can take them serious.
Well, let's hope that there'll be more fire action in the next few hours in the NBA in the United States of America. Well, like you did said, yeah, early days to call for any of the teams. A lot more games to be played in the NBA in the United States of America. Now, let's get to football. And talking about football, the Nigerian Professional Football League is into very interesting stages right now. We're into match day 14, and it is midweek fixture. Tonight, Remo Stars has 3SC of Ibadan to contend with, and these two sides, the
Warriors, they truly need to bounce back from their last show out there against Katsina United. But then it's going to be a very difficult one because Katsina United as well, take a look at their standing on the log, they truly need the points. I don't know whether maybe more like more than Abia Warriors need it, but then I tell you, it's going to be a keenly contested encounter, and I expect to see goals in that very one because the two teams will be hungry. I listened to the coach of both sides 3 hours ago talking tough in that very game. So expect a very keenly contested encounter in that game.
At the Godswill Aquario Stadium later today, Aqua United will be at home against a very strong side, Plateau United. Talk about Aqua United. They don't have any other thing to think about than the maximum 3 points to avoid dropping from the league. They seem to be allowing.
They've been on a very fine run of late. I don't think it's going to be an easy one for them, but I expect Bayelsa United to get all 3 points in that game.
Enugu Rangers will host their neighbor Lobby Stars, and at the Cathedral, it looks certain, if you ask me, that 3 points should go the way of Rangers International.
It's looking likely, especially for Rangers who will want to also up their standing on the log, seated on the 5th position in the Nigerian Premier Football League right now with some few points, about 7 or 5 points adrift of the league leader. They truly need to get all 3 points to put themselves in a pole position of successfully defending their title.
Talking about the league leader, Rivers United, they are away at
another, tricky tie for them against a team that is on a very good form, talking about Heartland. I think Heartland is going to disunite Kwara United in this very game because they are playing at home, and you expect the home fans as well to be on their side. And most time in the Nigerian Premier Football League, it is almost likely that you are going to see more home win than away win, and that is why I'm actually giving it to Heartland. In
Lafia, Nasarawa United will play at home against another side, Bendel Insurance. Bendel Insurance, so far, not in the kind of form we saw of them last season. Now they even play without a head coach.
Yes, of course, but Bendel Insurance this season, there is nothing insured about their form so far this season, So I do not see that game as a game that they are going to take all 3.
Manchester City and Sporting beating Manchester City in that fixture.
Yes, I think for me, Sporting beating Manchester City 4 goals to 1. It clearly tells you of the lack of form of Manchester City, because Manchester City that Sporting whitewash 4 goals to 1 is the same the same Sporting that Arsenal also defeated 5 goals to 1. So it clearly tells you of the drop in form of Manchester City. And Arsenal going away from home, especially Sporting ground, that is always a very difficult ground for any team to go out there and get a positive result. But Arsenal dominating proceeding right from the start of the game to finish clearly tells you that indeed there's something wrong with Manchester City so far. But I think for Sporting, they are still seated on a very comfortable position. They might likely be among the first 8 teams to make it through the round of 16. And that win has also further helped Arsenal to sit or move closer to the place where they can be able to finish within the last 16 teams out there, because we just have 3 games to go.
And they're talking about 3 games to go in the group stages, or do I say in the round fixtures that are ongoing in the UEFA Champions League. One team last night that was in action, we saw goals. 6 goals to nothing in one fixture. That was massive. 6 away goals scored. What do you make of Atletico Madrid scored 6 goals past their opponents from Prague, the Czech Republic.
For me, I think it's indication that Atletico Madrid are one of the powerhouses when you talk about in the UEFA Champions League. Don't forget they've played the UEFA Champions League a couple of finals, about 2 finals are there. So it's a team that truly understand what it means to be in such a big stage out there, in the Europe Elite top, competition. And with their coach, ever present, talking about Diego Simeone, one man that have been with the side for a couple, Lewandowski and the likes of Rafinha.
It was goals galore last night in Europe because Atletico Madrid scored 6, and Bayern said if Atletico could score 6, they too as well could score 5, and that's exactly what they did against RB Salzburg last night. 5 unreplied goals.
Yeah, a very great one for them, putting them back in a very poor position in the UEFA Champions League standing, which is a very tricky standing. The Swiss format is a very difficult one for some of the big teams out there trying to climb up the ladder. It hasn't been a very rosy one for them, but I think it was a good result for them.
Talking about goals last night in the UEFA Champions League, we saw plenty in the encounter between Manchester City and the opponents from the Holland, the Feyenoord. It ended 3-3 goals apiece. What has happened to Manchester City from a 3 goals position?
I think for me it's very shocking, very laughable. They had to throw away 3-goal cushion into that very game. Very disappointing. And Pep Guardiola is not a happy man as it is right now. Even the players, you saw their faces, their body language shortly after the final whistle. There were gloom of, confidence in their faces when that final whistle came. And how can you explain that you were 3 goals up against a team like Feyenoord and you cannot see your first such game? It clearly tells you of the blip in form of Manchester City. And I think Pep Guardiola need to do something very, very quick, because this is making it 6 straight games in a row that they are unable to win so far. Quite disappointing one for Manchester City.
Tonight, if you're full of the Premiership in England, Aston Villa is in action in UEFA Champions League. Who are they contend with? Former champions, Juventus. Aston.
A 50-50 game, so it could go any way, either for Monaco or either for Benfica. But one thing is certain, it's going to be a very mouth-watering encounter.
I'll keep my eye on all of the minutes of the encounter between Liverpool and Real Madrid. Real Madrid, of course, the most winners of the UEFA Champions League title, are already in England to take on FC Liverpool. Liverpool in a form of their life this season as well.
Yes, under their new man, the new sheriff, talking about Anslot, who has come and he's been able to reposition the team from where Jurgen Klopp left it. I think he has been able to at least show some grit and hold a grip on the top spot of the English Premier League. Let's hope that they bring that form to the UEFA Champions League tonight. But I tell you, this is a blockbuster game tonight because everything is at stake in this very one. For Madrid, they will be missing the services of Vinicius Junior, who is out in this very one, courtesy of that injury. But then I expect them to also, Bayern Munich, they just narrowly got all 3 points, courtesy of that Jimin's first half header that gave them all 3 points. They are also gradually crawling back to a very comfortable position on the standing out there. But for Paris Saint-Germain, a trying time for them and Luis Enrique.
Well, let's hope that the teams will continue to file action tonight. A lot of things are in action. But let's say congratulations to Lewandowski. We saw him score his 100 Champions League goal last night. He scored 2 goals for FC Barcelona, and thereby ensuring he scored his 100 goals. Not many players score as many as 100 goals in the UEFA Champions League. So congratulations to veteran striker Robert Lewandowski, who is really out there searching for goals and trophies for his side, FC Barcelona. Now let's look at one more story before we wrap up the show this hour, and it has to do with Enyimba International of Aba. They are in action tonight, and they are up against an Egyptian side, Al Masry of Egypt, in the CAF Champions League. They had earlier been drawn by, and now they will have to show their form as former champions, 2 times champions of the CAF Champions League. Can Enyimba survive in Egypt tonight?
I think it's a very big question, and I cannot outrightly. It could be a very massive boost for them, but then it's going to be a very difficult hurdle for them to cross.
Enyimba International up against Al Masry in the CAF Champions League fixture. Look at Enyimba's form in the local scene on the Nigerian Premier League table. Do you think it is encouraging enough when they go out to play against Al Masry tonight?
Yeah, for me, I do not want to look at it from that prism of where Enyimba is standing on the Nigerian Premier Football League, because even if you take a team that is topping the Nigeria down to play a team that is in 10th difficult, you see, even Rivers United that is topping the league right now, if this same Rivers United get to meet any club side from Egypt that is seated 12th or even 15th position, there are still going to be a handful of trouble for Rivers United. So I don't want to judge them going by that, yardstick.
Best of luck to Enyimba International. They take on Al Masry in the CAF Champions League fixture tonight, and that will be the match we can take on this edition of Sports Talk. Definitely be back at 6 p.m. Nigeria, where we'll take a more detailed look at fixtures in the UEFA Champions League tonight, and even
from the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.